confession time. It's been one of those weeks. I just want to, I don't know, hide under the covers. You guys have weeks like that where you just don't want to go anywhere or do anything. You just want to cocoon. I'm sure it's because of the anxiety rearing its ugly head. And I know it's not great for my well-being to do that, but some days it just feels like that's what I need to do. All right. So do any of you get this, there we go, anxiety as well? I'm just wondering what you do to help with it. Which is fine, because the bangs on the side wind up going whoop-a-doop on both sides, and I don't like that. So anyway, what do you do when you get anxiety? I mean, I know sometimes it is, you know, the exercise is good. And right now I'm having a hell of a time motivating myself to do it. Okay, so if you hear a crying sound in the background, that is my child, but he is not crying. He's actually, for some reason, I don't know why, playing around, making this yeah, yeah, yeah sound. I don't know. I don't understand it. They are entertaining themselves. They are entertained by it. So be it. And so this actually is my favorite lipstick to wear. I wear a lot of other colors too, but this one's my favorite. But I am also, dang it, there we go. I am also very much a variety is a spice of life gal. I don't know if you guys are that way too, but if I have things the same too long, I get very bored. And then I wind up getting into trouble. So, you know, if changing up my lipstick keeps me from doing stupid things, which is so, I don't know why that makes me laugh, that changing up my lipstick keeps me from, you know, doing ridiculous things, but sometimes I think it does. Like, I just need a little, you know, something different in my life, and instead of changing the things that are actually very, very important to me, you know, like my marriage, my family, and all that, if I can keep myself entertained by changing my shade of lipstick, then that's what I'll do, so that I keep the other things intact. You know, sometimes I think that is the best treatment for anxiety and depression. I mean, other than the medical treatment and the therapy and all that, but sometimes just laughing gets you through. It gets you through a rough day, a rough week, a rough minute. I mean, sometimes it does. And let's see. I don't think this is the end of this particular vlog, so I'm not going to say, well, you know what, I'll say it anyway. Be kind to yourself. In fact, that's one of the best things you can do to help the way you feel, is to be kind to yourself and be kind to others. So what if I say it twice in this video? Be kind to yourself and to each other. Well, it looks like they're open, and look at that, the Christmas stuff. It just makes me so happy to see it. I don't care what time of year it goes out. It just makes me very, very happy. And yes, I still appreciate and enjoy Thanksgiving, but I can do that while I look at Christmas stuff and hear Christmas music, because 1 month is not long enough to enjoy it. Alright, so I was able to go in and get the flavoring, and I decided to go ahead and get some almond flavoring too, because I didn't know how much of that I have and if it's enough for the icing, especially if I have to make 2 batches. I decided to go ahead and get a couple more food colorings too, just in case. And then I got a box to put the cake in. Alright, so yeah, when I was in Michael's, it got me to thinking about this this project that I saw that I'd like to try, and it looked really cool. On one side was for Thanksgiving, and the other side was for Christmas, and it was made out of 6 wooden blocks. Well, I mean, they weren't square. They were made out of 2x2s and 2x4s. And then they were cut to different lengths so that it would the blocks would be different heights. And on one side it said thanks, and on the other side it said jingle, I think. And so, you know, the side that said thanks was in Thanksgiving colors, and the jingle side was in Christmas colors. Hopefully I'll get to it before Thanksgiving, because that's the problem. I have all these plans, these things I want to do, and then I never get to them in time. So unless there's, you know, this is when this has to be done, like this cake. It has to be done because we're leaving in the morning to go to my parents' house. Or, no, actually, we're going to my brother's house. But anyway, to go to my parents' party. So I will take a picture or video or something of the cake when it's finished. So I'll show you that. And here it is, the cake for my mom and dad's birthdays. Their birthdays are actually 4 days apart, so we usually wind up celebrating them together. Hey guys, so I just wanted to do a little update on the anxiety. Last night I was actually up kind of late, well, later than usual, working on the cake, which, I mean, that was fine. I didn't have to get up quite as early today, so it was fine to be up late working on that. And when I went to bed, I was actually able to get to sleep fairly easily. Now, I did take the anxiety medicine before bed, but it seemed to, I didn't need it quite as much as I had the night before. So even just a couple nights of that can usually help me get back on track with the sleep and the anxiety and all that. So that's good. I'm really relieved about that, because the other option there, if it got to where I was taking this, you know, medicine too much, would be a more long-term maintenance medicine. And I don't like to do that, because I've got enough with that, you know, enough medications as it is. So, and I'm glad to know it looks like it's not the ADHD meds causing it. I think what brought it on, it was situational, but unfortunately, once the situational stuff kicks in, I don't seem to have the self-regulation to be able to stop it, you know, from affecting other areas of my day, my life. And guys, when I went to put the cake in the box, tragedy had struck. Something had swiped up the side of the cake and knocked icing off, and I didn't have any. Hey guys, so we are back from my parents' birthday celebration, and that was really great. Had a good time going up there. We saw some family and all that. So now I am trying to tidy up this area of the house. Confession time.
I am an organization failure. Yeah. I love to organize. When I find ways to organize an area, it just, you know, I don't know. It just makes me feel so happy, and I love it. I love to do it. Unfortunately, the big picture, I am still way behind on all my organization. So one of my ideas was to take these are from IKEA, they're Billy bookcases, and put them together next to each other. And I have one more of the bigger ones to go on this side, and then there's a table there that'll be out and they'll be moved over. And then we're going to use molding, like crown molding, and you know, the floor molding, and then some molding in between to make it look like one piece, which I'm actually really excited about because the ones I've seen, the pictures, look really, really nice. So I put these together, was it the week before last? And I actually did upload a video of myself putting the smaller one together. It's just a Billy bookcase assembly, I think is what it's called. If you want to see that process, if you're ever thinking about getting bookcases like this, you want to see how easy it is to put together. But one thing that happened, and unfortunately I didn't notice this until after the back was on, and when you put that back on, you actually nail it into the top, bottom, and middle shelves, because those are permanent. I put this top shelf on backwards, which I think in the whole grand scheme of things will not be too difficult to cover since we're doing the top molding. So the actual part that's supposed to be here is on the other side, but this was nailed into it. So it has about 6 nail holes in it. So not only would I have to pull that back part off and risk damaging that, because this back part is actually really flimsy, it's going to have holes in it. So since we're putting the molding up there anyway, I thought I would just paint it. I mean, I don't care if it looks perfect. I just want it to not look like, you know, the wrong color for the spot. So, and normally I use a brush that's made for chalk paint, but for this I'm just using the sponge because I really just want to get it on there. I don't really care, you know, about it being perfect or anything. You know, one nice thing about this chalk paint is it's I don't know, it's kind of thick, so you can really load this up and just kind of dab it on. And the match is pretty, I mean, I know this is a little bit wider than this, but it's still a pretty good match, I think, as far as, you know, when you just glance at it, you don't assume anything's off. Oh, and this weekend my husband also he was going to Lowe's, and so he picked up the wood that I was wanting to get to make the Thanksgiving and Christmas decoration. Because I told him I wanted to get it as soon as possible because I wanted to have a chance to make it while it still made sense to make it for Thanksgiving. So hopefully I'll be able to get to that later on this week. You know, even with those spots being still being so visible, it still looks a lot better from back here than it did. Oh, and I had said earlier, or it was actually, I think it was Friday, was it? I was talking about it. About how, and by Friday, I mean, that's when I filmed that part. This is still the same video, but, about the anxiety and how much trouble I've been having with that. And the thing is, you know, when I go through a time where I'm just really worked up and anxious, then you have the crash, you know, that I get depressed and all that. But it's getting better. The anxiety is getting much better. You know, there's been a lot of breathing exercise type thing, like the which it's seems like such a simple thing, but just doing that once or twice can really slow down, you know, everything so that you can think a little bit more clearly. Obviously, it doesn't get rid of problems or issues, but it can help you to think more clearly so that you're not, you know, thinking irrationally about them, because that does happen with anxiety, is irrational thinking. And then, you know, one of the reasons I'm worked up about my organization slacking or failure is because we have somebody coming to check our furnace. I think they're checking the furnace and the water heater. It's the same company that did both, I think. So, have somebody coming Wednesday for that. And I don't want things to be, you know, a complete wreck. I mean, I have my moments of not being the apparently I have my moments of not being the world's best speaker, but I also have my moments of not being the world's best housekeeper. But then I get really embarrassed by that. I hate that. And I did it! Yay! And sometimes it's the little things, like getting my ghost lights back in the box. And then finding a place to store holiday decorations that are not Christmas. I do have a box. Suppose I could store it in there. And I have a few other things too. And then of course when I make the Thanksgiving things, I'll probably want to put them in there. Because if I put them in the Christmas box, I won't get them out till Christmas. You know, I kind of feel like this week's video was just me kind of randomly rambling, which I guess it kind of was, because it was more of a vlog style video rather than a, here, this is what I prepared and we're going to sit down and talk about this thing. But, you know, sometimes we just need the chaos part of the equation. You know, some days we have the organized part, and some days we have the chaos. And this week's video was the chaos. So let me know in the comments if you prefer, you know, which style you prefer. If you like the sit-down video or the chaos videos, the vlog style videos. So if you like this video, please click like and subscribe so that you can be notified of future videos. And remember, be kind to yourselves and to each other. I'll see you next week. Bye.